Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This video is the second video in our COVID-19 four-part series, and today we're going to be covering two major things. We're going to be covering the pen model, and we're going to help you draw your first COVID-19 plot. So we're kind of bumping up the difficulty, but if you watch the first video, you shouldn't have a problem with this one. I'll leave the link to that one in the description, but yeah. So what is the pen model? I want you guys to think about it. You can pause the video right now, think about it, and leave something down in the comments. But I'm just gonna go on and explain what it is. The pen model, if you look at it, is, as I said, divided into three things. The probability of infecting someone. If I have the coronavirus and my friend doesn't, I go down. This is maybe a 70%, 80%, 30%, but there's a chance of me infecting him, and that can be calculated as the probability of infecting someone. The second factor that we look at is the exposure to others. If I have the coronavirus, if I don't have the coronavirus and my friend has it, if I'm just staying at home, he can't come and I'm not exposed to him, so I probably won't get the virus. But if I'm going down and visiting malls and public areas, I'll probably get it, which is why you have exposure to others. And the third factor is the number of infected. Now this is, if I know some of you might have observed this, but the number of infected is itself a factor in the percentage infected. Now this seems really cool to me, and this is one reason why we can definitely say that you usually have exponential curves for virus spread. Why is it exponential? Because if you've seen exponential curves formula, it's usually e to the power x, right? So when you have e to the power x, the more that x is, the higher it goes. And basically exponential curves, they start growing, and then the growth suddenly spikes, which is basically what happens in the virus. And if someone asks you why is it exponential, you can always refer to the pen model to explain that. Right now, this can be used to calculate the percentage change in infected. In a way, if you just take the probability of infecting, how much people are exposed, and then the number of current infected, and you can just subtract it with the last days infected and get the percentage change in infected. But the pen model is mainly used for the measures against COVID-19. Now, what I mean by that is, there's social distancing and there is the lockdown. Why would you put that? I mean, to some of us, it's obviously obvious. You're not getting exposed to others. Get it? Exposure is inside this in the pen model. So if you look at it from the pen model, by not going out, by keeping social distancing norms, you're reducing your exposure to others. One. The next thing that you could look at is we've been told to keep our hands sanitized, wear masks whenever we are moving out, or just basically be more sanitized in these times. And the reason for that is because sanitization can reduce the probability of infecting. If I have the COVID and I'm wearing a mask, the water droplets from my cough won't spread on the ground, which will reduce the probability of infecting someone in a way. If you're wearing gloves, you won't touch him barehanded. So there's different things like that that can reduce the probability of infected. And then again, there's no way to reduce the number of infected unless people die. So the governments mainly are just tackling these two parameters and areas. Now we're going to move on to a simulation, which I'll just be showing you. And I'm using the simulator that I found from 3 Blue 1 Brown's video, which according to me is the most complex, and the simulator that allows you to look into a lot of different things. I definitely recommend checking it out. This link will be in the description and even on our website, so you can definitely go check it out. But I'm not going to be the one explaining this simulator to you. In fact, I want you guys to be the ones who explore it, because there are so many things in this, and there are a lot of different factors. So let's say I want to see in communities, or if there's a central location, so a market, and everyone goes to the market, how it transfers. or simple. You can check that out. Over here there are a bunch of factors, but what you'll notice is all of them come under one of the three strands, P, E, or N. And I want you to map that out and and see what you can do with this. I think this can be very helpful for anyone doing any kind of report or any kind of research. So definitely go check it out. It will be in the description. And now it's time for our hands-on regression experience. Your first experience with this, which is really important. I didn't have such a good experience because I kept putting in the wrong dates. I just kept copying these dates like that, which is wrong. We'll get to how you can do that. But this is a data set. I'm going to put it on our website. We took it from a website, so we'll definitely be citing their website too. But yeah, you can find it at our website too. I'll be clicking here and India. I'll be going to India, which this will take me to, as you can see, bam. And yeah, so from India I am looking for data from, let's pick a random date, I don't know, here, okay, from 29th of Feb. Okay, yeah, cool. And we're just gonna drag this down all the way till the latest data that this data set has, which if I remember clearly should be around the 27th, correct? Yes. So yeah, so I'm gonna copy this, and that's great. Now I have counted this data personally, and there are 88 data points, data for the y variable, which is our positive underscore cases, say. And for another one we need to use a sequence function. So I'm gonna put it in and then explain what I'm doing. Okay, so this sequence function, it works in this sense. You need to put in what kind of variable it is. So what is the variable name in a sense? So it's going to be either n, then you're going to put in x or y variable, and then you're going to do 1 comma 88 comma 1. For this case we need an x variable, and yeah, so you have to put these apostrophes in front too, because that recognizes that in this calculator, that means that you're using a variable whenever you see that. So if we look down, yeah, so if you just saw, the data is matched complete to complete, and I'll name this time, why not, right? Now we have our two what do you call it, data sets. One is x, one is y. So, and whenever you're plotting a time series model, you put time as the x variable, and you change this positive cases as the y variable. Now a lot of you may say that this is a exponential model, and I'd be wrong to say that you're wrong, but there's a model called a logistic model, which will be covered in the fourth part of the series, mainly because there's a lot of complexities that come along with it, and we don't want to miss out on any of those. So I could obviously just go for menu 4, 6, and in the regression tab I could choose exponential, and it probably should fit. Okay, so it isn't fitting perfectly right now for some reason, but that is because a logistic curve will be covered in the fourth part of the series. So you should definitely stick around if you want to know more about them. They're very good for binary classifications, etc. But yeah, now yeah, so now we have our logistic curve, which fits perfectly. As you can see, it touches all of the points. And I can explain why this works, but a more in-depth analysis will be going on in our fourth video. But basically, in a logistic curve, instead of going straight up, you have a point around here in this case where the curve starts getting flatter, and at one point the curve becomes flat. To show you that, I'm gonna have to go to a graphing tab. So let's just continue the regression here. We go menu 4, 1, and in start calculations we head all the way down to logistic regression. And in logistic regression, again, time and positive cases. Okay, great. We stored it as f1. I should be able to go here, open a graphing tab, go to f1, and bam, we have our logistic curve. And we should be able to see the logistic curve that we plotted for these COVID-19 cases. Now, the reason that this is wrong, or why this isn't, why it's starting at minus from 0, is because I took this as the day 1. In the sense, when they were already 3 cases, this is the 29th actually. But when there were already 3 cases, I took that as day 1, which is the reason why it's coming in negative. But in actuality, it will start from 0, at least when we start from day 1. Which is around January or December. Now, yeah, so we have our plot, and there's one thing I would like to show you all, which is this curve becomes flat. As I was saying, I should be able to go with Manify 1 and trace it, but if you can see around there's a point where this thing becomes absolutely flat, which is why it's different from what do you call it, an exponential curve. Because in the exponential curve it will just keep on going, but over here it's gonna start coming down. Now, I'll remind you, this doesn't immediately become flat. I'm at around 33,000 at a y point, as the maximum y point on our scale. That's why it looks like this, and it'll take me a lot of time to zoom in, but I just wanted to show you how this really works and how it kind of curves and goes down.